Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV. It was Liverpool 1, it was West Brom 1. Yeah, it was just crap, wasn't it? Really crap. Full on Allardyce football. It was peak Sam Allardyce, and we can say that with like a little bit of a sneer in our tone, but it's hard not to come across as a bit of a bitter minge bag when, let's be honest, we were laughing at Sam Allardyce. West Brom are crap, and what's he doing? You know, criticising their style of play and all that, but he's come with a game plan. They've enacted their game plan, and you can see how delighted they are with the point. That is a brilliant point in from West Brom, and it's 2 terrible points drop for Liverpool. And on the balance of play, probably actually what Liverpool got what they deserved from the game. They had more shots on target than us in the full 90 minutes. So yeah, not a vintage Liverpool performance by any stretch of the imagination. If you are a YouTube member here on YouTube, you can access our members only chat live. If you want me to read a comment, I'll just put Mate first in your comments and I'll read it out. Then I'll nip over to Twitter, get through some of them over there, and then I'll be back to the members chat. But first of all, we've got Ryan Warren here saying probably the worst home performance this season. We've had a couple of bad home performances this season that have kind of got under the radar because we managed to snatch wins. Sheffield United, we were crap, and Midland home as well, we were crap. I think given the strength of the team we put out, I think that was a very underwhelming Liverpool side. We did largely lots of decent bits and pieces, but look, for as clinical as we were against Crystal Palace, we had none of that really on show. And to be fair, in terms of clear-cut chances, I can't think of loads that we didn't finish off. The Roberto Firmino one is what it turns on, really, because if he scores that header, and it's a great save from the goalkeeper, then you're looking about one where Liverpool, we got a little bit of a scare, but we've come away with the 3 points. But when they don't go in, again, it feels like a catastrophic event, really. Scott Hawke says pretty abject. Felt like we were lulled into a false sense of mediocrity. And that's part and parcel of the football. The hope is when you've got a few fans back in the ground, they kind of help you against the complacency. Now, obviously, we've got the game on silent while we're doing the commentary, so I couldn't tell you what the atmosphere was like. But that style of football, when you've just got the ball and it's on you, the onus is on you to generate the game, to generate the atmosphere and what have you, and you need to plumb the depths and bring it out. If you don't, then it is easy to kind of get sucked into a pattern of play that plays into the hands of your opponents, and Liverpool weren't creative enough when they needed to be. And it's telling that the ball from Joel Matip is the most creative moment of the game, pretty much. Wonderful ball, wonderful take from Mane, great finish. That was the best moment, the best moment of skill almost in the whole game, and it's completely different to everything else that we do, really. Dan Berry says second half we looked lazy and half-hearted. I thought a break would mean the players came back all guns blazing, not making 90,000 passes and getting no result. Yeah. Look, the lack of intensity was a bit of an issue, maybe. I don't know if we agree with that about the intensity or whatever. There's the game. We've had a few of them games recently where we've had 75+%. I think we had 78% possession today, and that's your job is to break teams down. They had no ambition to do more, and then when they actually gained a bit of ambition, they caused us a couple of problems. It makes you wonder if they got a bit more for it. But again, Allardyce has engineered a very good point there, really. MJS LFC, I think we scored too early and thought we had it won. And we've seen, and you're right actually, mate, because I said this at the time. We've done in a few games post restart where we get the early goal and we don't really then grab the game. Palace was the same. Palace could that game. We finished 7-0. It looks like Liverpool have absolutely battered them from pillar to post, which ultimately they did. But that wasn't how the first half went. We scored one. We were crap for the rest of the first half until we got the second, and then we got the third, and then the game was largely won. From then, that just didn't happen for us today at all. So it was, it's only the goal's only too early if you don't follow it up. And really, again, West Brom defended really well. You know, we got into some good positions. We got into good crossing positions where we can cause them problems. And it wasn't like we were playing loads of like crosses that are being eaten up, headers away, the Allardyce all day long. But into dangerous areas, some really like last gasp, throwing your body on the line, clearing stuff away. But yeah, ultimately, if it doesn't work, you do look a bit crap in that. Cy Banstead, mates, we're the producers of our own downfall. Needless corner giveaway. And that's a double honesty. A lot of people talk about Oxen. There's one on Twitter which I'll talk about in a moment. But that adds to it, because when you try something clever in the dying embers of a football match and it doesn't work, that just adds to the anger and the frustration, doesn't it? You just want to basically throw your deck of cards up in the air and storm out. So yeah, it definitely adds to it. A bit stupid, and unfortunately this is the problem when you're putting lads in who aren't 100% up to speed in that regard. Right, I'll come back to the members chat in a moment. I'm just going to nip over to Twitter and get a few off there. Rich non-shall_passes, the gravy snorter, got lucky, saying that we didn't do too much in the second half. They didn't deserve anything in that game, West Brom. I appreciate the optimism, I do. I think on the balance of it, like they could have scored a couple of decent breakaway goals in that game. It was a well-engineered corner. That happens. Allardyce is very good at that sort of thing. The fine margins, filling the marginal gains, is getting good at set pieces. They had one good counter-attacking opportunity where Alisson makes a decent save. Like that could have been a goal. They were all right at that. Given that we didn't exactly pepper their goal, you know what I mean, at any point. It's tough. It's hard. It seems a bit. It's hard to find positives because I think Liverpool were a bit crap. But again, maybe some credit to West Brom. It's hard to say, isn't it? Mark Ferg, cross cleared. Wasn't working all game, but for some reason they kept on trying it without trying anything else. It's a definition of insanity, and it was fucking painful to watch for that 90 minutes. Yes. The onus is on. If you're going to do that, your onus is also then on second balls, and that's where I think Liverpool fell down big time today. Is not put a cross in, and then if they don't get a proper clearance, and it's not like West Brom's clearances were all 40, 50, 60 yards down the pitch and completely out of danger. There was plenty for us to pick up on, and we just didn't. It didn't quite work for us. So it was a tricky situation. Sorry. And it does feel like madness when you're doing that, and we did need a little bit more through the middle of the park, and I wonder whether that's a game where you push Jordan Henderson on. I feel a bit sorry for Kurt Jones, who I thought had a good game, but then obviously inevitably he's going to take a beating because he was a little sloppy in giving the ball away. Reece Williams looked a little bit off the boil, off the pace, and we're seeing the level of his quality. He's not a top quality centre half, not yet. So yeah, it was tricky. It's Dill Ryan saying Liverpool switched off after half time, were as flat as a pancake in the second. Front three weren't great today, especially Salah. Thought he was terrible today. Baggy's got what they deserve with the point. Centre back signing needing a January window, Matip 200 prone. Yeah, that's another kick in the teeth as well, isn't it? The Matip injury in addition to that. Shouldn't matter. Again, Reece Williams just come up against better play. I mean, look, he played against Tottenham a week and a bit ago, and he was absolutely fine in that game. But yeah, it's tricky. Craig Etherington, I wanted to read this one because I think it's interesting to have the discussion. He said, Ox showing he's not even an impact player anymore. Centre back needed. Jones too casual, which causes the corner. Foot off the gas after the first goal, too casual throughout. I don't think Liverpool were too casual. I think you could see that they were still zipping the passing. What they weren't was, again, I just think creative enough. I think they fell into a comfortable groove of a pattern of play and then weren't able to shift out of it. The Ox thing, I think, is madness. I think to try and throw Oxlade-Chamberlain under the bus when he had no pre-season, he's not played all season. He came and got a few minutes a week ago at the tail end of a game that's won. Couldn't even tell you if he even touched the ball in that game. And then he's come into a game where in those tight games, you need someone whose touch is absolutely on it. And the problem is that you look to who else we could have brought on. It's him or Shaqiri for me. And the problem is, now as you say, probably easy to say, I should have just brought Shaqiri on. And that's actually maybe how I feel about it, to be honest. But neither of them's played footy. And so the touch is just likely to be off. Just small moments where after 2 or 3 games of back and full fitness and match sharpness, you don't make those stupid mistakes or you don't have those loose touches because you're on your game. It wasn't quite the right environment to bring Oxlade-Chamberlain on, but he's been brought on for a reason, and he was lively, but he wasn't what we need. And then you throw Divock Origi on, which is just mad. I just think that was the one for me. Like, people can criticise Oxlade-Chamberlain, and they will do because he's the guy who doesn't get the last cross in from the corner. But like, yeah, look again. It was everyone was ultimately a bit crap. Phil Sorky, love Curtis Jones, but his fault led to the corner that created their goal. West Brom defender well took the chance of the game. Yeah, did I read that one already? Maybe it sounds like one that we've already done. Regardless, you're right. Mike Southgate says, Salah can go. Too often he's not turned up when it matters. Forgot he was playing in the second half. We still have issues against the Allardyce defence. Arrogant performance and rightly punished. I actually agree a little bit with that. And actually, I'm not even sure it was an... Actually, you know what? Let's go. Let's run with that. I can see that. I can see the arrogant performance thing, and I can see the rightly punished. Yeah, Liverpool were rightly punished for not putting the game to bed. I think that does a little disservice to how well West Brom defended. But look, this is Liverpool, top of the league. West Brom, second bottom in the league. There's no logic in defending anything that says other than Liverpool should be winning this football match. So let's go with that, because I do agree with that. Allardyce threw everything behind the ball. Got to go. The Salah can go stuff's just a bit fucking bollocks to me. Like he was quite good. At times he was a little bit underserved. His problem is that he needed either to have a situation where you get him in wide and you have him drive at the defence, because I think he can cause real problems doing that. And either we chose not to use him, or we chose to push Trent up a bit further, which stops him doing that. I think in the last couple of games where Trent's been a bit deeper and it's afforded Mo to play a little bit wider, but also there's times when they've got a flat back six, so it doesn't really matter where Salah goes, he's not being given the space to perform anyway. So I think they marshalled him quite well. There's a couple of times when I thought he caused them a couple of problems, little gives and goes, but the fine margins we're not there for any of the front three today. And again, absolutely highlighted by Firmino's header, fingertip save from the goalie on any other day. And you're talking about a vintage Firmino performance once again, whereas all of a sudden you start to look along the front three and go, Mane started brilliantly, wonderful goal, dropped out of the game. I'd have took him off by how he was playing in the second half. I thought of the three, he would have been the one that I would have withdrawn. But then in the last 5 minutes, he comes alive again and he's causing problems. So it's a mad one. There's a temptation to throw the baby out with the bathwater here, because it feels like a big, hearty defeat when it's not. It's Liverpool once again not losing a game of football, which actually, West Brom will look at that and go, actually, we had two clear-cut opportunities there. If they take them, then it's a completely different story altogether. Klopp-a-maniac on Klopp. Always has to wait till the opponent scores before making a sub. Curtis and Trent very poor. I thought Trent started the first half brightly and I thought completely disappeared as the game wore on and got worse and worse. Curtis, I thought was good. It was a good performance from Curtis, all told. Back to being a 7 out of 10, which again for a 19-year-old lad is a good performance in my eyes. But again, he's not helped by. He does really well. He does the right thing. He's carrying the ball. He's getting us out of a little bit of a tight situation in the right back area, and it's just too casual, the ball, when he gives it away and it gets us on the back foot. This is what you get with young players sometimes. I don't think he makes that mistake again, and the next time he plays, or the next time that situation arrives, we'll reap the benefits of him making that mistake, but that's zero consolation right now when we're looking at 2 points dropped, and you could point the finger at Kurt leading up to it. But look, ultimately, it's not like they score from that. We still get Reece Williams still has a chance to get it to clear it, and then we still got an opportunity to not concede from the corner and the second ball from the corner and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, on the substitutions thing, like Oxlade-Chamberlain is ready to come on and then they score. So I'm not sure it doesn't go, they've scored, let's make a sub. He was making a sub as they scored, and we've been a bit unlucky with that. Now you could argue just make it 5 minutes early and that doesn't happen, but that's just I don't think you can really make that argument sensibly, to be perfectly honest. Right, we had a couple of bits and pieces over on YouTube. Cole Bishop joins the club captain. Yes, Cole, everyone who's club captain or club legend on YouTube memberships gets the final word show in about an hour and a half's time. We're going to be doing more in-depth. Me, Chris and Ross will be chatting through this game, so welcome aboard for that, mate. We had a super chat come in. Luke Dalton, get Gerrard in to steady the ship and then make an appointment at the end of the season. Klopp is finished. Very similar to his end at Dortmund. Is it? Is it similar to his end at Dortmund? Is it? It's not similar to Klopp's end at Dortmund in any way. I can only presume that Luke is being tongue-in-cheek. That, or he's maybe suffered a blow to the head. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's see. Ryan Warren says, mate, I think Jones needs to be dropped for a bit, far too cocky on the ball. Oh, mate. he's put in 3. His last 3 performances have been brilliant. We've been managing him really well. And in terms of the lads who would have started in this game, Naby Keita's not fit. Oxlade-Chamberlain's back, but probably isn't ready to start straight away. Curtis Jones has earned his place in the side with his performances. And I think that's a very solid game that he's put in today. And he's made a mistake, and it's at a pivotal point of the game. But there'll be a temptation to go, it's, looking for wild flailings of the limbs for a situation that probably just needs us all to go, this is what the game was. Not throw your arms up in disarray and all that. It's just shit. That was a bit shit and we didn't win, did we? Let's get a couple more comments here. Connor R is fuming again. Can't be arsed. Jonathan Cook says, mate, when the magic stops, our system isn't quite working at the moment. I honestly, right, I don't know. Look, there's a lot of bits and pieces around this. We're literally, and look, Ryan Warren's actually got it here. He says, seriously, we're top of the league. I can't put it any better than Ryan, to be honest. We are top of the league. In fact, we are, aren't we? Are we 3 points clear at the top of the league? Given everything that's gone around, I think the problem we've got is that we all looked at West Brom and went, there you go. We battered Palace. Palace are better than these. We should be beating these by like 10-0. Because that's the way footy works. Footy doesn't really work like that. And West Brom, for all of our thoughts and feelings towards them and Allardyce, came with a game plan. They enacted it. That was their mission. That happens. Like if that wasn't possible, like the only teams that would ever win points in football are teams that try to play football, but they don't. This is English football, and this is part and parcel of the game. Is that every now and again you come up against this? I think all told, when you clutch together Spurs, Palace, and West Brom, if you told me 7 points out of 9 in that, and you'd be 3 points clear at the top of the league, I'd have bitten your fucking hand off for it. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So I wouldn't let the disappointments of all that cloud the judgment on all those things. Liverpool are very much in the box seat with players to come, and in the next week or so, the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain are going to be a little bit fitter, a little bit sharper. Hopefully Shaqiri, Minamino, Thiago to come back potentially for Newcastle, if not, the week after. And so this is very much a league that's in Liverpool's hands at the moment. Now, does that mean it's done and dusted? Does that mean that Liverpool are going to piss it? Maybe still, yes. Probably, because I'm not sure anyone else has got their act together any better, and that's also worth looking at. Is that if you think there's issues at Liverpool, then have a look at everyone else in the league, because it's important, because everyone else's issues are far bigger and far more pressing and far more prevalent than any issues Liverpool might have. And Liverpool have had a mad injury crisis on top of all that. I think we're all pretty healthy, to be perfectly honest, Liverpool wise. Even though apart from the lads who were obviously injured. So yes, don't let it get you down too much. Player ratings is to come very shortly with Chris Pajak. If you want to check that out, then just stick around on this page and it should auto refresh straight into that. Then we'll be back with the Instant Match Reaction, and then me, Chris and Ross will be in the building to do the final word show for YouTube members at Club Captain and Club Legend level, and of course for people on the redmentv.com as well. Guys, thank you very much. Try to keep smiling. It's a fucking disappointment, but it's not the end of the world. We are top of the league. It is sound. I'll speak to you all in a minute. Bye.